If you're thinking of buying an investment property, you definitely want to watch this video before you make a move. Hey Halifax, Brenda K here, and the sweet Miss Frankie with the Halifax Home Selling Guide. So a lot of people are pulling the equity out of their homes, but there are a lot of things you need to know before you go buying a rental property. So we're going to talk about some tips today. I mean, the most important tip is hire a realtor. Hello. It's super important that you hire a realtor that's working for you. The listing agent selling, he's working for the seller, right? And he'll say, oh, I can do this and this and treat you both equally. Well, how can you treat both equally? You know everything about the seller. And he's got an agency relationship with the seller. And here's the thing, maybe you hire a realtor of your own, but you ask him how many investment properties he's done, and he's saying, oh, you're my first. And I say, they might be practicing on you. So when you talk to a realtor, make sure it's an experienced realtor with investment properties. This one's super important. The style of home has to fit with who you are. All right. So like, for instance, if I want to take some money and do an investment property, the only thing I know how to do with a screwdriver is like hold it. Like that's it. Right. So why would I buy an investment property that would be potentially, more maintenance that I could handle? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase a condo and I'm going to use that as a rental property, because then I know I don't have any big maintenance. My husband, it doesn't matter. Electrical, plumbing, he can do it all. He's a carpenter by trade. So any style would suit him. But, you don't have to want to hire somebody for every single little thing. So like I said, decide what the style is that's best for you. Take in all the monthly expenses. So there's not just the mortgage payment. You've got the taxes. If it's 2 units and it's oil heated, you'll be paying the oil and the tenants will be paying you for it. And also there's the insurance that you would keep. They're going to have tenant insurance, but you've got to carry home insurance on it. So, and you want to make sure too that you put in a vacancy rate, because there is going to be a time when one tenant is leaving, you're going to have to paint, clean up a little bit. So you're probably going to be 30 days out or at least 15 days out. So remember, when a tenant's not paying, you're paying out of your personal money. The rents. Evaluate the rents. Huge. We all hear the term location. Well, that could not be more true when it comes to rental properties. So what you want to do is you want to call in an expert. I'm not a rental expert, but I do know one. So I always know when I don't know and what to ask somebody, which is a good thing, don't you think? It's a good thing. So I have an expert that I call and I say, how much can you get for rent in this area? Okay. And I make sure that I take what I was just talking about, the expenses, and I evaluate that. And I say, is there any little leftovers or tiny little bit of a slush fund or whatever? And here's the thing you get all the time is the listing price. The agent will say to you, oh, I know the rents aren't big enough right now to support the price, but you can put them up. No, do not do that, please. And make sure that the rents work with what it will cost you. Property checks. So how many times do I go into a house and I've been with, even when I'm with a rental company and there's a lot of work to do. Like they just rented it out to somebody and they'll say to me, oh my God, Brenda, look, they wrecked this, they wrecked that, they wrecked this. Well, for 2 things. It's like, hello, you're the property management company, so why did this happen? And if you're doing it yourself, well, like, I'm going to share a story with you guys here shortly that will scare you. But anyways, in the Tenancy Act, you can go in with 24 hours notice. So I do suggest that you do check on your property. Oh my God. Vet your tenants. Okay. If you don't want to use a reputable agency, with me, I would, because I don't even know how to do a credit check. Do you know how to do a credit check? No, see, I don't know how to do a credit check either. So I would. They normally charge like 1 month's rent. You don't need them managing it the whole year and taking part of your rent every month necessarily, but I do believe a professional is good to work with. Now, if you're going to do it yourself, don't just check who their last rental agent, like where they lived. I mean, in all honesty, I know probably nobody remembers this, but there was a Seinfeld episode when George was trying to get Vandelay Enterprises at Jerry's house to answer. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, you could be talking to their mother. You have no idea. One of the things that I would suggest to do is call their employer, because they really tell you, kind of what the person's like. Like if he said, oh, he's a great worker when he's here, but he's like sick, he's sick like what, a week every month or whatever. And you think to yourself, when somebody's sick, they don't get paid. Yeah, maybe not the tenant you want. So really, really vet your tenants carefully. That's important. Understand the basics of the Tenancy Act. And this is huge. I mean, the Tenancy Act, I agree, way back in the day, you had what people would call like the slumlords. And I understand why the act was put in place, and I agree with most of it. The thing is it really, really is in favor of the tenants. They really are. And like I said, I understand how they came into existence, but go through the act and understand things. I want to share one thing with you. Like a lot of realtors, we used to say, if they're month to month, that's great, right? Because you give them 30 days notice and they're out. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. So that's why, and that's changed. And a lot of other things have changed with COVID. So please, if you're going to get into this business, have a look at the Tenancy Act and see what you don't understand about it. Maybe ask your lawyer or call somebody at the tenancy board. So let's talk about my recent one. I want to share this story with you because this couldn't tell you more about how this can impact your personal life. So I had a lady 12 years ago that purchased a rental property that she was going to have in her retirement. She was all excited. And she was working full time, and the rent was always paid in time. There was never any reason to go in the house. The outside of the house looked fine. And then she retired and she thought, well, I'll check on my house. Oh my God. It was so bad. It was so bad. I can't even explain it. She had absolutely trashed this woman's house. So we put it for sale, and we used the right forms. She knows the Tenancy Act. The buyer was going to be moving into it personally. She gave the tenant 60 days notice as she was required to do. So closing days coming up. Tenant didn't leave. I'm serious, tenant didn't leave. So here's my lady that she legally can't sell the house. There's a homeless young couple now. And long story short, the tenant, after 2 more trips to court, the tenant finally did leave. And the thing about the legal costs and things too, like you get the tenant and they have legal aid, and but a lot of lawyers, they're not going to take on this unless you're retaining them, unless you're paying them good money. So my client was pretty much representing herself out there. So it really, really, like I can't say enough. I do have a happy ending for my client. She did get her house sold. Was it the retirement dream that she thought it would be? Unfortunately, it just didn't turn out that way. If you found value from my video, and I hope you did, please hit subscribe. I'm here every Thursday with a new video. I have links below to my buying and home selling guide. And if you're thinking of buying or selling in Halifax, think Brenda K. I'm Brenda K. This is the Sweet Miss Frankie, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.